Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen have matched up in the playoffs 8 times in their NFL career, and every game is absolutely amazing. But there's one common theme throughout them. In the regular season, Josh Allen pulls off the win. He's currently 4-1 versus Patrick Mahomes in the regular season. But when it matters most in the playoffs, Patrick Mahomes has the edge. He is 3-0 against Josh Allen in the postseason. And now here we are once again. Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen, this time for the second time in the AFC Championship game. Now, we know how the first one went. Patrick Mahomes got the edge, and Josh Allen, I believe it was his second or maybe third year in the playoffs, and he wasn't as experienced, and it just wasn't the greatest game for him. But now, Josh Allen playing at an MVP caliber level. Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes, even though he didn't put up the greatest stats in the regular season. This is still going to be a pristine matchup. So to start off with, I'm going to take Josh Allen's stats versus Patrick Mahomes' stats when they play in the playoffs. Then after that, we're going to get into who I think is going to win this football game. Let's get right into it. Now, these stats that I'm showing you are only in the playoffs. I'm not covering the regular season. I'm just covering the playoff stats here. Now, we know Josh Allen is 0-3, but if we take a look at his completion percentage, the first time they met in the playoffs, only completed 58% of his passes, but since then he slowly improved, and now he's averaging about 65% completion percentage in all of those 3 games. Then if we look at that total for passing yards, he has 802 total passing yards, 7 passing touchdowns, and only 1 interception. And that's a key. That's 7-1 against, one of the best. Then to add on for rushing stats, because we know how good Josh Allen is when it comes to running the football, he has 228 total rushing yards in those 3 games, and then 2 rushing touchdowns. So if we take that and we break it down into 3 and we get the average of that, Josh Allen completes about 27 pass attempts per game on 41 pass attempts a game. He completes about 66% of his passes. He averages about 267 passing yards per game, just over 2 passing touchdowns a game, 76 rushing yards, and just under 1 rushing touchdown a game. So these are fantastic stats. So now let's take these and let's go look at Patrick Mahomes and see how he compares to Josh Allen. So now Patrick Mahomes, we know he's 3-0 against Josh Allen when it matters the most in the postseason. And then if we look at his completion percentage, a very drastic change. He's completing his passes at a very high level. He goes 76%, 75%, and 74%. It's just beautiful. He's completing about 75% of his passes. Then if we look at pass yards, he has thrown for 325, 378, and 215, which totals out to 915 passing yards. Then moving on to passing touchdowns, he threw for 3, 3, and 2, which totals out to 8 total passing touchdowns with 0 interceptions. So a phenomenal touchdown to interception ratio right there. Now if we move to rushing yards, we know Patrick Mahomes is mobile. He is no Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. We know this. But still, nonetheless, he has 93 total rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown. So now, if we take all of that and we look at the averages, Patrick Mahomes completes about 26 passes per game on 35 pass attempts, which is about 74% of his passes he's completing, which is phenomenal. He's averaging about 306 passing yards per game, just under 3 passing touchdowns, 31 rushing yards per game, just over 0 rushing touchdowns. Both of these guys are fantastic, especially when matching up against each other. They just bring the best out of each other. So now let's look at their total yards, total touchdowns, and total interceptions. And this may shock you. Now, if we look at it, we see Josh Allen has 1,030 total yards. Now, this is passing and rushing included. He has 9 total touchdowns and only 1 interception. Now, let's look at Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, 1,011 total yards and 9 total touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So they are essentially the same when it comes to comparing their stats. Now, the big question is, Josh Allen, MVP candidate, who's going to play better? Who's going to show up? I don't think that's a hard question to answer. They're both going to show up. For whatever reason, whenever they match up against each other, they bring the best out of each other, and we get phenomenal matchups. Josh Allen is going to do Josh Allen things. He may not go off for 400 total yards, but now that he has that run game to lean on, now that he has weapons around him, now that he doesn't have to be Superman and go do everything, I think Josh Allen is going to settle in. He's going to run when he needs to. He's going to pass when he needs to, and he's going to do it accurately. He's been very accurate this season. Now, Patrick Mahomes, on the other hand, has also been very accurate this regular season. So will Patrick Mahomes be Patrick Mahomes? Of course he will. But who will come out on top? Will Josh Allen come out on top? Will he finally get that postseason victory against Patrick Mahomes and move on to the Super Bowl and have a chance to win a ring and be in that conversation of, okay, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow, they've all been to a Super Bowl, but now will Josh Allen get elevated even more now that he's won that Super Bowl? Now is he going to join Patrick Mahomes at the round table as guys with Super Bowl rings in the NFL? Of course, aside from Matthew Stafford or Joe Flacco or Jimmy Garoppolo, who's a backup. Shout out Jimmy G. But this game is going to be phenomenal. Now to give a prediction of who I think will win this football game, I never want to bet against Patrick Mahomes. It's a mistake I've made. I don't want to say one too many times, maybe once or twice, but I've learned my lesson. But this year, I don't know why, the Buffalo Bills just look different. They just do. Their run game is, I believe, the 6th best in the NFL. That offensive line looks great. The defense is healthy. Josh Allen is playing smart with the football. I mean, it's hard not to pick this team. And then when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, they are 15-2. They did just beat the Houston Texans. But at the end of the day, good teams find ways to win football games. And sure, most of their games are one-score games, but come those close games, who's going to step up? And the Kansas City Chiefs, time and time again, have continued to step up and show why they're going to their 7th straight AFC Championship game, why they're on the verge of a three-peat. People want to talk about, one-score games, they're not that good, refs, this and that. No, that's wrong. Let me pull up a stat for you guys. In the last 2 seasons, Kansas City opponents have been flagged 48 times in the fourth quarter or overtime. In the last 2 seasons, the Kansas City Chiefs themselves in fourth quarter or overtime have been flagged 47 times. So they're still getting flagged. And I don't want to hear about the refs, this, that, whatever. The Kansas City Chiefs are finding ways to win football games, period. I don't know why, but I genuinely think the Buffalo Bills are going to do it this year. I think Josh Allen, whoever wins this game, is going to win the Super Bowl. I think the Buffalo Bills, they handed the Kansas City Chiefs essentially their only loss this year. Essentially. I think they can go in, they can do it again, and I think they can do it at a high level and then move on and go win that Super Bowl. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Who you think is going to win this game? Who do you think deserves MVP? Is Patrick Mahomes a top 5 quarterback of all time? I certainly think so. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. And as always, I will see you all next video. Peace.